I'm Ranjika from the morning newspaper. Uh, so, Grant, two obvious questions for you. First is how is Kusaljan Pereira doing? How is he feeling? And the other is probably a question that you'll be expecting. The weaknesses against spin. You being a great player against spin bowling, what sort of advice would you give these youngsters in preparation for the World Cup?
Yeah, firstly, KJ, he's struggling a bit with his shoulder, and just getting back to full fitness, running between the wickets, etc. So he's not 100%, but we thought it was the right time for him to come back into the team. We needed him to bolster the batting, and today you looked like probably our best batter. So it just shows the class of the guy, and hopefully that fitness will come back and his shoulder will improve. Regarding the playing of spin, yeah, thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that. Um, it's not through lack of practice. The guys hit lots of balls. We do lots of drills. We speak about it. We have lots of meetings. But at the moment, some of their thought processes probably aren't spot on. They're making probably inappropriate decisions at the wrong time, and it's just execution under pressure. And the South Africans have played it quite well, but hats off to the South African spinners. I think they've bowled really well, and they've got it in good areas. They've had good fields, and the ball has spun and bounced, and we haven't been good enough to deal with it. And for us to succeed at the World Cup and in the qualifiers, we're going to have to improve a lot and improve quickly.
David Veerasinghe.
Grant, we've seen the South Africans playing the spin quite well, using the reverse sweep and the conventional sweep. We haven't seen much coming from the Sri Lankans. Is it a natural ability that we don't possess? Is it the reason, or our guys are not? They don't want to play the reverse sweep or the sweep? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Damith. And I think that quite a few of the guys are reluctant to play it. And I think the belief in within the guys is they can manipulate the ball without having to play the sweep or the reverse sweep. But on big turning pitches, sometimes when you can't get down the track and you can't rotate the strike, you do have to play it. And and the guys do practice it, but maybe they need to practice it more. But it's a confidence thing. It's like hitting a cover drive. You've got to practice it a lot to gain that confidence. But we've spoken about it. But you can have all the team meetings and say do all the one-on-ones with the batter. But when he's under pressure in the middle, it's up to him to make the right decision and to pick the right ball to play whatever shot. But we'll continue to keep trying to access the sweep and the reverse sweep because if you're struggling to rotate or struggling for boundaries, you've got to come up with some option. And it's not the sweep or reverse sweep. You've got to come up with other options. So, hats off to the South African players, the way they played it, to be honest.
Asamami, please.
Grant, we saw Datsun Sanaka had a fantastic domestic season with the bat, but unfortunately, he has not brought it to when it comes to international games. We know the last couple of games as a batsman. What's lacking there?
Yeah, good. Another good question. I'm not sure. He's hitting the ball beautifully in the net. He had a really good domestic tournament previous in the T20, and he was the top batsman there. So it might have something to do with the captaincy, the pressure of that. I'm not sure, but he's got to find out for himself and come up with some answers because at the moment it isn't good enough. But the guy's a good player, and like I said, he's hitting the ball really well in the nets. But the nets is one thing, and executing under pressure in the middle is another. But he's got to find a solution.
Vidu, you can ask your question.
Hi Grant, the pitch was really good for spinners. Most of our wickets fell. Our batsmen went to the back foot against spin. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, some players like to play spin off the back foot. Sometimes it's just making the wrong decision to a filler ball that's skidding on, and then you're trapped. So that's just, it's a matter of skill and picking length early. And some of the guys haven't been doing that, and they've been found wanting. So they've got to improve that, and if they don't, then we'll keep getting results like we are at the moment.
Shatuga, you can ask.
Hello, Brand. We seen a last match. Sri Lanka lost the momentum in power play, but today we got the momentum in the power play, but we couldn't capitalize throughout the match. So we have very less matches before the T20 World Cup. So how we capitalize our batting unit as a perfect batting unit before the World Cup?
We had a good start today. We're 50 for 2 in the power play. But, KJ had a good start, and so did Banuka. And they should have got on, carried on. KJ went for a sweep and missed it. And Banuka got a full toss, and he should have put away, or at least not hit it to the bowler, a full toss from an off spinner. And it's not good enough because they both had good starts. But the other guys should have rebuilt and did a lot better. But like you say, we've got some warm-up matches. We had an honesty session in the change room just before I came to this meeting. So the coach said a few home truths, and so the boys know what they have to do. They got to look in the mirror, and hopefully we're going to come back with a much better performance in 2 days' time, and hopefully take some confidence from that into our warm-up matches before the qualifiers.
Martin, you can ask your question.
Grant, when it comes to the dismissals, if you look at Bhanuka Rajapaksa got out of a full toss, and Aiden Markram was a part-time off-spinner, and Kusal Janit Pereira, considered to be one of the best players in Sri Lanka batting lineup, he got out to Aiden Markram. As a batting coach, we see that it's evident that the problem is with batting at this point of time. As a batting coach, what type of goals would you set for these kind of players to kind of overcome? Obviously, you said they are batting well at the nets, but when it comes to the grounds, there's a big gap that is holding us apart.
Yeah, look, regarding KJ, he hasn't had many net sessions at all since he's had COVID. But, you could see the way he was hitting it today. That's the class of the guy. The ball he got out to was probably a bit full to sweep, but a lot of sweeping is predetermined. And when it's full and on the wickets, you got to make sure you hit it. And he probably just tried to hit it a bit too hard. But, sometimes that happens. Whereas, Banuka, there's no excuse for that. You've got to be better than that if you want to succeed at international level, let alone club level. You got to be able to put that away. But the guys we do lots of drills in the nets, like I said earlier. I throw lots of balls. The spinners bowl heaps at them. So it's not a lack of practice. I think it's more pressure and execution in the middle, and that's what T20 does to you. But the best players in the world, they learn to cope with that pressure.
David Petersinger.
Grant, another concern for Sri Lankan batting has been the dot ball percentage. First game 49, today also 51. Have you all set a target that we should be batting less than this in terms of dot balls? And how do you see us coming out of this problem?
Yes, good question, and that is that's analysed every match. Our analyst tells us the amount of dot balls, and it's recorded. And we do have specific goals of dot balls, and we try and limit them each match. But past few matches, it's been very poor, unfortunately. Sometimes it comes from trying to hit the ball too hard, or looking for too many boundaries. When it's good ball, maybe just getting off strike. So a lot of it's thought process, but we speak about it a lot. The guys work on it hard in the nets, but yeah, the better sides limit the dot balls a lot better than we're doing at the moment.
Final question, Rajik, you can take that.
Yes, Grant, you touched on Bhanuka Rajapaksa. He had 3 ducks in a row, and today he got a good hit, hit some good boundaries. But what sort of advice do you give him? Do you let him express himself out there on his free will, or do you give him the license to just go out and just express himself?
Yeah, he's one of the guys that can hit boundaries. So we do invite him to express himself, definitely. But obviously playing to his strengths. And today he was going really well. He played some lovely shots. And he looked like today was his day. We had a really good session before the game, and I said to him in the nets, I haven't seen you hit it this well. And today's your day, but you know, and he looked $1 million today until he got out. But yeah, it wasn't good enough. He needed to kick on. So we do have one-on-one discussions, but you know, you can talk so much in this game, but you got to repay everyone out in the middle and execute skills under pressure for your country.
With that, we end in the briefing. Thank you very much, Grant, for taking part, and also the journalist. That's it.
Thank you.